Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming, the news show where we cover all things FPS. If you would like to skip to a specific news story, click its link on screen, and if you're on mobile, check the video description. One of our top stories this week is the PS4 Pro. After months of rumors and supposed leaks, Sony has finally revealed their mid-generation upgrade to the PS4. The new hardware features an upgraded GPU that makes outputting 4K HDR content possible. Most of the demos running at the Sony press event were using upscaling as opposed to running games in native 4K. At least one game, The Last of Us Remastered, is confirmed to run at a native 4K resolution, but considering it's technically an upgraded last-gen title, I doubt many other PS4 Pro titles will be running at a native 4K resolution. Now, one of the bigger improvements that I think a lot of console gamers are looking forward to is the benefit it's going to bring to 1080p gaming. There's a lot of games out there that are running at 900p or some weird funky upscaled mess without anti-aliasing, lots of motion blur and low quality textures to try and hide the fact that the game just isn't really very good looking. I think the new GPU and the added power is going to allow a lot more games to run at native 1080p quality. And hopefully it'll take a good step towards solidifying a 60 FPS standard for a lot of games out there. First-person shooters, in my opinion, shouldn't be played at anything less than 60 FPS. And when you have limited GPU power like the current gen consoles, but you want to push the graphics, devs will do little tricks like reducing the field of view so they don't have to render as much stuff on screen, but it gives you an almost periscope-like perspective of the world, and this kind of thing can really hamper the gaming experience. So more powerful GPU is good for everybody involved. Now, Eurogamer wrote an excellent article about their hands-on time with the PS4 Pro, and they made it clear that the PS4 Pro uses advanced upscaling to make up for not rendering most games in native 4K. They also made it clear that despite being upscaled, the PS4 Pro 4K gaming output looks pretty good. The issue, however, is that to take advantage of the PS4 Pro's output, you really need a 4K HDR capable display. In a nutshell, HDR displays can show a lot more color information per frame than a standard display. It makes things like highlight and shadow detail way easier to make out, but getting a display that supports HDR means you're going to spend a lot more than you would on a standard display. So if you're currently gaming on a 1080p TV and you're thinking about upgrading to a PS4 Pro, you might not really see all the benefits that it has to offer. The PS4 Pro will not support 4K Blu-ray, so outside of games, it looks like the only way you'll be able to watch 4K content is if you stream it. For people with good enough internet, most streaming sites like Netflix and YouTube already offer 4K content, and Netflix is slowly adding 4K HDR content as well. That said, Sony really should have included a 4K Blu-ray player in the PS4 Pro. Many people buy consoles not just for gaming, but also as a media device for their living room. And although Ultra HD Blu-rays aren't nearly as popular as normal Blu-rays, it could have still been a cool way for Sony to make a killer media box. It would have been just like the PS3 supporting Blu-ray back when the cheapest players were almost as much as the PS3. Now, if you want a 4K Blu-ray player, you're going to have to get that in addition to your PS4 console. All things considered, I think the PS4 Pro is a huge step in the right direction for console gaming. Microsoft's Project Scorpio is rumored to be even better hardware than the PS4 Pro, but we'll have to wait until next year to see if the rumors are true. For right now, I'm just glad console owners will be getting a quality 1080p gaming experience. I certainly would have liked the PS4 Pro to include an even better CPU, but overall it seems like a really good upgrade. If you already own a PS4, there isn't really a huge reason to make the upgrade unless you have a 4K TV, and even if you don't, I still think it'd be worth to sell your PS4 and buy a PS4 Pro, especially if you're getting the PlayStation VR. Then again, selling a normal PS4 might become pretty difficult once the Pro is out. On the software side of gaming news, Mass Effect Andromeda was shown off as part of the PS4 Pro event. Unlike previous Mass Effect games, Andromeda's playable characters aren't just gender swap versions of the same person, they're actually siblings that exist in each other's world. BioWare haven't said that they'll have unique storylines to play though. Andromeda will feature a heavier emphasis on exploration with new ways of getting around, such as a jetpack and the return of land vehicles. That's pretty exciting to me. Mass Effect games feel like they always put you in a fleshed out universe to explore, but somehow you're always stuck in a glass box looking out at it. Andromeda, pushing the boundaries of that box out a little further, could do incredible things for the feel and immersion of the game. Moving on, the Battlefield 1 beta wrapped up this week and featured the first major change we've seen to the new Conquest mode. Getting rid of a timer is a small step in the right direction for balancing the game mode, but DICE still has a long way to go in my opinion. If you want all the details, you can check out the video I did about it here. It includes info about future balance changes as well, so be sure to check it out. Halo 5 Forge made its way onto the PC this week as a free-to-play title on the Microsoft Store. The interesting part is that it supports online multiplayer. Now, there are some limitations like no matchmaking system or automated game mode setup, but if you do some digging or have a good friends list, it's not that hard to get into a private match and play Halo 5 Forge online. Now, Forge is obviously not just some slapped together port. Despite all the console UI elements, Forge feels like an actual PC title, and it looks like it too. Forge runs flawlessly, even at 4K on high-end hardware. Microsoft is already sacrificing exclusivity with their big titles like Gears of War and Quantum Break to get PC gamers buying their games, so it wouldn't shock me if Forge is Microsoft testing the waters for a full-blown Halo launch on the PC. The track record for PC ports recently has not been so great. If they release Halo on PC after all these years of it being an Xbox exclusive and it was a bad port, I can only imagine the PR nightmare it would be for Microsoft. So fingers crossed that Forge is a stepping stone to Microsoft releasing a new Halo title on PC for the first time in 12 years. In our final bit of news, COD4 Remastered gameplay hits the web in a big way this week, and it looks like a solid remaster. I understand why Activision isn't releasing a standalone title or discounting the update for existing COD4 owners, but it's still kind of a bummer that we'll have to pay $80 to get it. Don't get me wrong, Infinite Warfare looks kinda cool and all, it'd just be nice to have the option of getting COD4 Remastered on its own because it's such an iconic title and frankly so different from Infinite Warfare and what modern Call of Duty games have become. It wouldn't shock me if Activision released the remaster as a standalone title a few months after Infinite Warfare's release, but I'm not holding my breath. Either way, I'm sure the game will be discounted at some point in the future. Anyway, that concludes today's episode of This Week in Gaming. I'm already having Battlefield 1 beta withdrawals, and I cannot wait to play the final version. Which big AAA games are you guys looking forward to this holiday season? As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.